Wala, hindi niyo pinag-aralan yun? Hindi niyo pinag-aralan kung yung kaso na yun? Bakit merong falsified na document na gano'n? At least, mahirap, when you say mahirap because of your system.
Yes, sir.
Mahirap talaga, ha?
Correct, sir.
So sa civil registry. So ang sinasabi mo is, hindi sa amin pwede mangyari, pero baka sa civil registry. Correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Oh, sige. So doon tayo sa civil registry. But before this, yung mami ko nanganak siya. So pwede ako mag-attest
that would be-
in case? That's why I'm asking.
Hindi yata yun, ma'am, pwede. Because
Ay, hindi
knowledge,
pwede yata. At your level, hindi na tayo yata.
it will not be possible,
O
ma'am.
sino dapat?
Meaning, kung hindi ito nagaling sa local civil register, hindi rin nagaling sa inyo,
Some other sources.
some other sources like recto. Pwede.
Not,
Pwede?
not PSA and not...
Hindi. Sige, klaro natin. Pwedeng nanggagaling ito sa recto.
Could be anywhere.
Could
Your
be
Honor.
anywhere, ha?
Yes, yes.
So, based on our own research on the PSA website, there are a total of 1,455,000 live births in 2022. No, that's the latest statistics we have, and also based on the PSA website, more than 90% of these births, tama ba tong intindi ko sa facts? More than 90% were registered on time of the births. Tama ba? Tama ba yung intindi ko sa facts? So if there are 1.4 million births, more than 90% were registered on time. So there's 10% na delayed registration of birth. So yung mga babies. Tama ba yung intindi ko sa facts? Is that accurate?
That would be about correct.
Okay.
Madam.
So what I don't have is how many late registrations per year do you have na hindi baby? And let's just go straight, na adults. How many cases of late registrations for adults do you have on average in a year?
Ma'am, we can check that from our records. We have not that ready at this time, but we can provide that, ma'am.
Well, kasi for me to
We will check, ma'am.
elicit the information I need, you need to tell me, are there 5 cases? Are there 50? Are there 500 cases? Are there 5,000 cases of adult registration? Because just an average, any idea? A dozen?
Ma'am, in 2021, yung late registration that are beyond 30 days, almost 900,000.
900,000. But how many here are infants or children?
We will get that number.
Okay, see, because the reason I ask is, if I will assume that of the 900,000, 99% are infants or children, then that would mean only 1% are adults. And again, it's a guess because you're not giving me anything. So if 1% yung guess, then that is 9,000. But I don't know. It could be 0.1. It could be, I don't know. So should I ask now the provincial officers, ilan ang nagpapa-late registration sa inyo? Like sa isang taon, ilan ang late registration na bata, ilan ang matanda? Kasi yan ang topic natin, di ba? Kasi gusto ko malaman, and then I will ask the ex-policeman beside me, how difficult is it if you tell me all over the country and how many provincial offices do we have? If you have 10 adults, hindi naman siguro ganun kahirap imbestigahan yung 10 adults na yon. If you have 100, humihirap siguro ng konti. If you have 10,000, di medyo mahirap. So you have to give me that number.
Yeah. Yung registration. We'll just retrieve the data, ma'am. We will get it
Kailan
from
kaya?
internet.
Yung internet, di sinisi
Magkiconnect
natin
din
si
kami ng
DICT. Can you call your office?
Yes, yes.
Are there offices you can call? Kayong mga provincial offices. Is there somebody you can call? Tell me the date. Tell me from last year. Tell me from this year. Oh, 1 month na lang, January. Ilan ang adult na nag-register sa inyo?
How many adults?
Pwede bang tawagan yung staff nyo? Kasi you're all aware, di ba? The reason for this hearing is that there are adults who have documents that are somehow not consistent with them being Filipino. So I would suppose you would come here to tell me ilan ang kaso natin na ganon, out of how many. Ano ba? Mag-break muna tayo? Sige, dalawa naman kayo, while Miss Marisa is on the phone, Mr. Clemente, how many of these cases are you aware of?
Of the two presented,
Yeah, or of many others.
we are aware of 7 cases.
7.
Referred to us.
What
7
are these cases? Can you briefly tell us what, I don't need the names, but ano yung scenario? That's not an excuse on
Yes,
what
yes.
I'm asking for.
Of the 7 referred to us, Madam Chair, PSA has conducted investigation on the 7 and
Iwanagin natin, what are we talking about? Are we talking about identity theft? Are we talking about foreign nationals that appear to have a
Yes.
Filipino birth certificate? What are you talking about?
these are foreign nationals
Oh,
referred to us that of the 7, 6 are falsified birth certificate based
Okay.
on our
okay.
investigation.
From what provinces? Are they from any
These-
of the
from these
provinces?
provinces.
So sila mismo yon.
Yes,
Okay. So what are you? So your findings are
That 6 of them are falsified, meaning the contents in the documents submitted to the DFA for issuance of passport. These are falsified. Yes.
But the content is falsified, but the document was issued as a public document.
And the documents are in our database. These are
Hindi.
submitted
My
to our
question is, yung taong yon may hawak siyang Filipino birth certificate.
Correct, ma'am.
Correct. And so, to the eyes of the public, binasa ko nga yung sabi ng batas natin, it's prima facie evidence na itong hawak na birth certificate ay totoo.
Yes.
At nakalagay doon na si Mr. X o si Miss X ay Pilipino. Tama, so far.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so upon investigation, nung na-report sa inyo, sabi mo, 6 of these appear na yung sinulat nila doon na sino yung magulang nila o kung
Yes.
saan sila pinanak o ano man, may falsified doon. But
Correct, ma'am.
the fact remains na issue yon. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so until you started investigating and until you withdraw that, it is a public document that people will rely on as truth.
Correct, ma'am.
Correct. So, what do you need to tell me now kung paano nangyari yon? Do you want to refer to them or are you prepared to give me your conclusions?
Ma'am, we have prepared a summary report on the 6 cases referred to us. We can submit this to the committee for
Di siguro you can give us a summary, like give me one case and tell me paano nga nangyari yon? Saan nangyari? O sige, let's use example itong katabi mo sa Bulacan.
ayan.
O ano nangyari?
The one in Bulacan. Do we mention the names, ma'am?
Do we not? What do we do? No. So no names. Let's follow.
Okay.
Let's follow the set. No name. Just call him X.
Okay. This this is registered in Mekawayan City, Bulacan. The findings was that this is a falsified certificate of live birth. The document contains false and fictitious information, and the registry number used belongs to another person. This
There. Ano yun? What do you call it? The what
Registry
number?
number.
The what?
Registry number, ma'am.
The registry number. The registry number belongs to a
another
different person. So
Yes.
meaning to say, now there's another person. When you say the registry number, is this a digital
Yes, ma'am.
code?
This is a sequential number assigned to birth certificates when they are registered.
Okay, so when you look that up now in your database, possible na may dalawang lalabas. Kasi sabi mo, it belongs to someone else already, right? That's what you just said, right?
Okay.
Ano sabi, the registry number has already been, ano yung pagkasabi niya? What was the phrase that you used? The registry number has, what was it? What did you say?
The registry number refers to another person.
Refers to another person. So kaya nga, so right now in your database, there will be that registry number in the name of another person and the name of person X. So there's more than one person now with that. So kung may kasalanan si another person, damay si X and vice versa. Kung may kasalanan si X, kung fugitive pala siya, kung mafia pala siya ng ibang bansa, o kung ano man, itong other person natin, kawawa. Am I correct? I just want to establish that fact. Am I correct? So in other words, let's use a very simple day-to-day occurrence in the life of a Filipino. Balak ngayon ni another person magpakasal. Ay, kasal na pala yan. So sa ibang, syempre, dikit-dikit naman yan, di ba? From birth to marriage to death, right? Hindi na ngayon siya makakapagpakasal kasi lalabas doon, ay, kasal na. So iwan na ngayon siya ng asawa, ng girlfriend niya, ng fiancé niya dahil may asawa na pala siyang iba. Tama ba? No, I just, because I want the average Filipino to understand this problem.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, may I refer to ANS Maris for the details
Di ba
on this
simply as
case?
a yes or
Yes,
no
ma'am.
muna yung sagot ko, yung tanong ko? Am I correct that if they look up information that refers to facts in a basic public document in the civil registry, because the registration number is now available to two persons, possible yon na yung status nung isa affected ngayon yung isa? Because there should only be, let me ask a prefatory question. There should only be one registration number per person, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
So there is a problem that there is now two people who have that registration number.
In this case, ma'am, no.
Okay,
The register number was used by that person.
correct. But until you started investigating, that document of Mr. X contains the registration number that you found out is already assigned to somebody else, correct? So right now, in the world, there are two different birth certificates with the same registration number. Prior to your investigation, whatever you did to that document. Di ba yes? Di ba ganun
No,
kasimple
ma'am.
yun? Sorry, yes. Do you want to answer, Miss Marisa?
Po, ma'am. Apologies. Yung case po niya is inassumed niya in filing the passport, yung birth certificate, ginamit niya yung registry number that belongs to the other person.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean naman na link na yung identity of that person kasi meron siyang legit na birth certificate yung registry number na yon.
Sino yung may legit? The other person.
The other person, ma'am.
Yes, but-
there's a delayed registration case naman po siya.
Pero ano ba yung purpose ng registration number? 'Di ba it's for your files na pag hinanap mo yung registration number na yon, pag hinanap mo yung registration number, kunyari passport, DFA, can I just use you as an example? If you punch in my passport number, my name should appear, right? So if there's two people na pala, somebody had another document na ginamit niya yung passport number ko, edi yung system mo magkakagulo kasi baka minsan pangalan ko lalabas, pangalan niya o dalawa kami. Tama ba? Ganun lang naman kasimple yung tanong ko eh. DFA, yes? Yusek? Correct. So bakit kayo ba't hindi nyo masagot ako ng yes? I'm trying to understand ha. I'm not judging. I am just trying to
Yes,
understand.
Madam Chair, the submitted birth certificate is a falsified document that
Correct.
use a different registry number that belongs to other person. Pero hindi po yun yung nasa database namin. And similar to the local civil registrar din po.
Madam Chair, can I interject?
I know.
Can I interject?
Yes, because I'm not understanding what's
Thank
being
you,
said.
Madam Chair. Yung, paano nangyari yun? Paano nangyari?
Sir, it's a falsified Colby
Kaya
that
nga,
was
paano nangyari?
submitted
Paano nangyari yun?
for passport. So, we
Can you give us, kahit na tourist lang, kayo man talaga ang PSA, can you give us your theory? Bakit nangyari yun? Paano? Paano nagkakaroon ng ganong falsified document?
Sir, the information were in that Colby that was submitted contains different information. So, kumbaga it's a falsified Colby. So, hindi yun yung real na kanyang birth certificate supposedly.
Kaya nga, kayong nandyan, kayong expert dapat dyan. Eh. You help this committee understand paano nangyari yun. Imposible naman hanggang ngayon, wala pa kayong theory na nakakam up. Bakit nangyari yun? Saan kung falsified yan, saan posible nang galing? Wala, hindi niyo pinag-aralan yun? Hindi niyo pinag-aralan kung yung kaso na yun? Bakit merong falsified na document na ganon? At least for now, if you are interested on that issue, you should have come up with some theories kung saan ito nang galing, bakit nagkaganito, bakit tayo nalusutan. Mga ganun lang kasimpleng you don't need to scan your records or what. Pareho naman tayo may isarling utak eh. Isipin niyo saan, ano ba talaga? Bakit nagkaganon? At least for now, mayroon na kayong naisip na posibleng dahilan. Bakit nangyari yon? Sige na lang, magtanong lang ko ng ibang question. Kung ako gusto magkakaroon ng birth certificate, ako'y pure na inchik, galing China. Dumating ako sa Pilipinas. Gusto ko magkakuha ng passport, Philippine passport. Kailangan man requirement man diyan yung birth certificate. Saan ako pwede kumuha ng birth certificate?
Yes, the birth certificate is registered at the local civil registry offices. So, if a person who is not registered within 30 days.
So, diretso tayo. Pwede makakuha ng birth certificate sa local civil registrar at saka sa PSA.
Okay. You may not be able to get birth certificate because there will be requirements that will be asked from you.
Tanong muna, establish muna natin. Ang pwedeng sources ng birth certificate is yung local at saka kayo.
Yes, sir.
PSA, that's right. Correct yan?
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Senator.
So, can you distinguish between the two sources?
Okay. The local civil registrars are the registrants of the country. They are the only official in the bureaucracy that can register birth, marriage, and death certificates. This is under 7160 Local Government Code. Now, under the law, the Philippine Statistics Authority is the repository of all these birth certificates, marriage death certificates registered by local civil registrar and submitted to us by operations of law. So, the sources of birth certificates, these documents could be the local and us as repository of civil registry documents.
Correct. So far, itong mga cases na uncover natin, may yung unang niraise ko sa committee ni Senator Pia Cayetano nung sa budget hearing, lumalabas na mayroong local civil registry na kinunan ito.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
So, kalaro natin, as far as your agency is concerned, Pwede ba ako makakuha dyan ng ganun na lang kadali na
No.
ako, Chinese ako. Papunta ako sa PSA. Magbigay ko ng pera sa'yo. Bigyan kita ng pera. Bigyan mo nga ako ng kuhan dyan, ng birth certificate.
That would be
Pwede mangyari yan?
that will not be a possibility, Your Honor, because
Impossible.
because
Kung pupunta ako sa local civil registrar,
that's what we're
may pera ako. So, magbigay ko doon, makakaproduce ako.
Your Honor, we're investigating that.
Kaya nga,
the local
Churi lang. Pwede. Because sa digitalization, sa record skipping, sa lahat-lahat, kailangan ma-distinguish natin. Pwede, no? Pupunta ako, merong corrupt doon na local civil registrar. Bagsakan ko ng pera, bigyan mo ako ng birth certificate. Pwede.
That's a possibility, Your Honor.
Possibility. Sa inyo, sa PSA, magdala ko ng isang malitang pera, bigyan kita ng pera. Bigyan mo ako ng birth certificate. Pwede?
That would be impossible, Your Honor.
Impossible. Why?
Because we do not register civil registry document. We rely on the submissions of civil registrars.
So wala tayong nakikitang gap as far as PSA is
As far as
concerned?
PSA is concerned,
Walang
as
gaps.
repository, no. It's not possible that you can register directly to PSA because
Okay.
we are not local civil registrars.
Okay. Yung pagmaniobra ba, diskarte sa mga tao nyo sa loob, baka kaya yan through ganon-ganon. Basta may pera ako, hindi talaga kaya?
Hindi, sir.
I-manufacture, hindi kaya?
Impossible, sir.
Impossible?
The process of submission of documents passes through from the local civil registrar to the provincial office. It's encoded there before it's transmitted, both the data and the physical document.
Mahirap, when you say mahirap, because of your system.
Yes, sir. We have,
Mahirap talaga, ha?
correct, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'll follow up where you left off. So you're insisting that as far as the PSA is concerned, hindi pwedeng pumunta sa inyo, wala silang pwedeng bayaran para mag-produce ng document because that document, the birth certificate in particular, is produced actually in the civil registry.
Correct, ma'am.
That's what you're saying, which I don't think you said as clearly as
clear,
I
yeah.
said it.
Pero that's
Okay,
That's what
pero
I like to
yun
say.
yun. So sa civil registry. So ang sinasabi mo is, hindi sa amin pwede mangyari, pero baka sa civil registry. Correct?
correct, ma'am.
Oh, sige. So doon tayo sa civil registry. But before that, I'll keep it simple. Civil registry, who is the ultimate boss in the civil registry? Who does a local civil, who does the, ano ba tawag sa kanya? Who does the local civil registrar report to?
To the local chief executives.
O,
ma'am.
di ba? Kada
Mayors,
city,
the
kada
mayors.
municipality. O, that's why sinasabi mo ngayon, hindi ako. Sa kanila yon.
Because the process of registration is at the local civil registrar.
Correct. Pero, sino ang may technical supervision sa kanila? Is it the mayor and the governor or is it you?
On the technical, meaning on how they should register, what
Yes.
form should be used, it's the PSA.
Correct. So,
Yes.
kung magka-problema, sino din mag-iisip ng solusyon?
Both
is it-
PSA and the local
You think?
chief executive.
Ewan ko lang ha. Ito, naging mayor. You think ikaw makakahanap ng technical solution doon? O kayo siguro tapos in coordination with them? Okay. I will give an example. So, eto na nga. Di ba Bulacan? O, di pa salita natin yung case na to is sa Bulacan. O, sige. Ano nangyari? Sino? Si Mr. X. Paano niya nakakuha sa inyo?
Actually, as per record po, yung direct sinubmit po na document, as I understand it sa DFA, is a falsified document. As mentioned earlier po ni Ines Maris, belonging to another person. And then yung details of the
Just so to be clear, no? When you say it's falsified, what I thought I heard him say is false yung content. But my understanding was that document, and I asked, was that document issued by
The local.
either the civil
local
registry, the
civil,
local. So it was issued by the local, correct?
Na-register ba natin?
Oh.
yung registry number na teka po Yung registry number po na 2017 95-2651 is belonging to another person. Tapos yung tao po na sinasabi natin ay may late registration po na doon sa local civil registrar, and then it appears na yung mga supporting documents required for the late registration are also falsified po.
Madam Chair.
It was but basically the late birth registration, well, it was registered. The late birth was registered.
Yes po.
Yes, okay. That's important. The late birth was registered. I'll get back to you to give way to Senator Bato.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Basta klaruhin natin na ikaw, Mr. Elmore Baroquillo, you are PSA Provincial Statistics Office ng Bulacan.
Yes po.
So, directly under ka sa PSA National.
Yes po.
Hindi ka local civil registry, ha?
Hindi po.
Mayroon tayong local civil registry dito?
Wala po, Madam.
Walang naimbitahan?
Yeah.
Pareho kayo? Wala? Oh, so, kung pala ito,
Yes.
local ka, pero PSA ka pa rin.
Ang tawag po sa amin ay Provincial Statistical Office po ng
Kaya nga,
PSA.
PSA pa rin.
Yes, sir.
Yes
Under
po.
PSA. So, hindi kayo local civil registry.
Hindi po.
Okay. So, you speak the same language.
Yes po.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so to go back to my question, it is clear that the local civil registrar of Maykawayan ba? Maykawayan issued that birth certificate.
The late registration.
The late registration
Yes.
issued how do you say it? A late
Late registered
registered
certificate.
birth, 'di ba? So na-issue yun eh. So we go back to the question. Paano nga nangyari? 'Di ba? Because I already asked and you confirmed the technical supervision is with you. PSA, head office, and now provincial. So makinig po kayong lahat, okay? Kasi every one of the provincial offices represented here, Davao del Sur, Isabela, NCR, Zambales, all have similar cases, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay, so na late register nga. Oh, and then for the record, I will read the requirements to apply for and be granted a late registration. May negative omnibus certification issued by the PSA. What that means is mag-i-issue ng PSA na negative, wala pang na-register na ganyang pangalan. Okay, so dapat may ganon. Next, meron siyang accomplished affidavit for delayed registration of birth. So yung tao mismong yon, isa-certify niya na I am applying for this late registration. Oh, ito sa akin yung crucial. Affidavit of two interested persons. Can you elaborate? Two disinterested, sabi ko ba interested? This. Two disinterested persons. Can you elaborate on that? Who are these two disinterested? As a lawyer, I would assume baka may interest dyan yung magmamana. O so hindi pwedeng kamag-anak. O ang kapitbahay, pwede? Ang barangay captain, pwede? Sino ang disinterested person na yan?
Under the procedures, ma'am, yung affidavit of two disinterested person are for persons who may have knowledge of the facts of birth nung nagre-register.
Wow.
So it's
Okay.
not just anybody na
But facts of birth.
yes.
Okay. So in this case, and in all of your cases, be ready to answer. Anong klase, hypothetical. So, kayo mag-explain, sino yon? Sino yung disinterested person na yon na magsasabing ganon? Who normally do you, that's why I was asking you, di ba, how many late registrations do you have as adults? Kasi I'm trying to test your credibility in explaining to me what are the type of documents you receive. O ano? Sino? Ano sila?
normally
Sino
it
yun?
should be older than the person being
Like,
registered
pwedeng a few years older lang? What?
who may have knowledge because knowledge
Di kaya nga. So, kunyari, I am 4.5 years older than Alan, although mukha siyang mas matanda, di ba? Under oath kayo, so bahala kayo sumagot. I'm 4.5 years older. I can attest. At 4.5, kaya kong maalala na buntis yung mami ko, nanganak siya. So pwede ako
That
mag-attest
would be-
in case. That's why I'm asking.
Hindi yata yun, ma'am, pwede.
Ay,
Because
hindi pwede
knowledge,
yata. At your level, hindi na tayo yata.
it
Sure
will
na
not be
tayo.
possible,
O
ma'am.
sino dapat?
Should be
Nanay
knowledgeable
namin.
enough.
Nanay
to-
namin, tita.
Tita could be.
So maybe at
pwede.
12 years older, I mean, what's the rule?
Hindi
what's the
minor,
rule?
ma'am. Not necessarily.
Not
Dapat hindi
a
minor.
minor at the time of birth.
Correct.
So itong taong pinag-uusapan natin, lahatin na natin, ilang taon yung mga yan nung nag-apply sila? Bulat-latin yung record natin. Isang kaso lang naman yun eh. 37, 27. How old are those persons we are investigating? How old are they? 24 sa inyo.
95.
Oh, so that means yung disinterested person, may record po kayo, Mr. Lebria? May, so 24, so dapat 36 years old yung nag-testify, yung disinterested person. 37.
As to the attachment of the late registration applied by the certain person
Yes.
in my area, Madam Chair, I have not seen the attachment itself because
Okay. So you haven't seen it. Okay. So are you now saying that sa level ninyo, that's why again I go back, ilan bang late registrations na yan? And then you now have 7 cases. So you haven't seen it, so how did you investigate? That's a crucial requirement, di ba?
We asked them to conduct ocular inspection at the local civil registrar's
So they each
offices,
conducted,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
and to look into the requirements that
O kaya
were.
nga, iniisa-isa ko
Yeah.
nga yung requirements eh.
Mm-mm.
Kasi yun ang importante. Ang next kasi na requirement is certification that indigent. Di naman siguro applicable. It's not an issue. That's just siguro to excuse them from payment, right?
That's
Correct?
on,
So I don't know why it's listed as that. It should be a separate condition because not everybody applying is an indigent. So I don't know why it's...
to cover those applicants who will not be required to pay
Yeah,
late
I
registration
know,
fee.
but it's listed as if it's a requirement for everyone. That is how it appears in your list. I'm just correcting.
Maybe Madam Chair, looking at we have a project called Birth Registration Assistance Project. This is to address those marginalized sector of our
Baka
society.
this is the requirement.
That's a requirement
Sige,
because
patingin
that's
na lang nung sa
yes.
inyo. Anyway,
Yes,
that's on the side.
Maybe just clarify
The
the
next is
number.
any proof of identity like barangay certification, driver's license, among others, if applicable. That's why nga, bumalik ako na me as a lawyer, the most important here is the two disinterested persons, right? Kasi yun yung magpapatunay. Kasi yung last, yung proof of other driver's license, it begs the question kasi normally para makuha mo yung driver's license, nagbigay ka din ng birth certificate, di ba? So medyo, for me, am I correct? I can be wrong that the affidavit of two disinterested persons are the most important. So, no?
Mahalaga, ma'am, yung documents that will show the data that will be registered. The name of the child, birthplace, birth date, and the name of parents. So, yung documents na nire-require natin doon should be able to supply those data, at least yung
Okay.
name,
Yes.
birthday, and birthplace. Yung parents can be established kung meron siyang baptismal certificate. Yung disinterested person, these are additional supporting document that we require para lang ma-establish natin that there are other people knowledgeable of the facts of the event being registered. Pero
Kasi kung I just assume kasi these are late registrations, so they're adults. So the chance of the parents being around is maybe 50-50. That's why in my mind, in my legal mind, the disinterested persons are very important. Not to say that, yun nga, if the parents are alive, then of course. And then if you can verify the record also of the parents in the register, di ba?
that is why pag older na masyado, meron tayong
Yun nga yung kaso natin, older na nga eh.
pag may cut-off, halimbawa, pag 60 years old, mahirap na mag-require ng
Correct. But we're talking about, that's why I asked the age, 24. Ano yung iba? Pakisagot po. Ano yung age ng yung mga inimbestigahan nyo? Just blurt out the age, please. Use the mic, please.
For Quezon City,
So
it's
for
51 and 40.
years and 40, dalawa.
Yes.
Okay. Sambales?
For Zambales, a different case, it's an identity theft.
Okay, so different case. Okay. Isabela, Mr. Emperador?
Madam Chair, 42 years.
42. And then, yung sa Davao, kayo yung 24 years old. Yung sa Bulacan, Mr.
22
Baroquillo.
po at the time of registration po.
Okay, so kayo 20s, ito 40s, di ba? So medyo relevant yung disinterested person, right? Kasi fact of birth. So anyway, so mabalik tayo sa process. So what does your investigation show? Yun din naman yung question ni Senator Bato, yun din ang question ko. What did your investigation show? Na papaano nangyari? Kasi I will repeat, they are legitimate documents issued by PSA. So by PSA, by the civil registrar. So saan nakalusot?
Maybe po. In the summary of our investigation,
Okay.
of the 7 that were referred to PSA, only one legitimate birth certificate na gumamit ng identity nung isa. So
Yun yung
and-
sa Zambales. Oh, ibang
Yes.
kaso yun. We'll
Yes.
talk about that later.
Yes po, madam. And the rest, yung 6 po, all of the submitted birth certificates for the passport are all falsified colbies, meaning hindi po yun yung tamang kanilang record that is available in our database. And of these po, 5 have delayed registration cases filed with the local and with the PSA. So we have a copy of that.
So, Madam Chair, ibig mong sabihin na yung papel na yun, when you say fraudulent, pwede nanggagaling sa recto?
As to
Manufacture lang?
Sir, if I may,
Ah.
as to the security papers, we're currently investigating because the submitted colbies contain, some of them have blurred entries, so hindi namin ma-verify
So,
kung
so
saan
hindi nyo
outlet.
pa na-establish na kung talaga ba ito issued by the local civil registrar na papel? Or
No, these
itong
are
papel
all-
ito manufactured galing sa
Ano
recto?
sir, PSA, yung submitted
PSA?
document. Oo, but we are investigating if these are legitimate SECPA issued by the PSA.
Sorry.
So we have 3 established na serial numbers of this SECPA, of which meron na po kaming investigation, but the other one we are requesting from DFA for yung specific na serial number so we can identify which outlet was allotted to.
Let me summarize what you're saying, no? 5 cases, no? Involved false information in the late registered birth certificate. But you are still checking, or you have established that 3 of them came actually from the civil registry of some area. What is your statement on that?
The 7 of the 7 security paper, 1 is a legitimate, which is the identity theft.
Okay.
6 are falsified or unauthorized issuance of birth. But these
Okay, let's dissect that. You call it
6.
falsified,
5, 6,
unauthorized issuance of birth. So, unauthorized issuance, meaning to say the civil registrar issued it beyond the scope of their authority? Is that
lahat
what it
ng-
means?
ng-
Anong legal meaning ng term na ginamit nyo?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Falsified
okay.
call B and unauthorized issuance of CRDs. Yung unauthorized po is pertaining to the one identity theft, which means hindi po siya yung dapat na nakakuha ng birth
Okay.
certificate na yun.
Yes, kasi
And the rest
sinantabi
are-
mo na yun, Nes. Binabalik
Yeah,
mo pa
sorry,
kaya
ma'am.
nakakalito.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 na falsified call B and 1 negative
Okay,
birth
5 na
certificate.
falsified. Doon tayo sa 5.
Yes.
So, you call it falsified.
Because they are not the one registered with the local and with the PSA.
Okay, they are
Iba yung
not,
contents nun, ma'am, nung birth
they are
certificate.
not the one,
They're not the records that is found in our system and in also with the local. So, mga fake yun, ma'am.
Hindi
yung
nanggaling sa, hindi talaga nanggaling, hindi in-issue ng civil registry.
offices.
Hindi.
rin. Oo.
Okay, because for some reason, and what is our basis, nanggaling daw yun doon sa mga lumabas sa hearing. Yun ang sinagot kay Senator De La Rosa na legitimate. Ang ginamit pa nga na word, kaya in my opening statement, I said, I'm using the word legitimate because that is what was told, what we were told, is that nanggaling yun doon. In fact, kayo, ang sabi niyo, ang content, ang erroneous. So medyo iba yung pagka-explain nyo sa akin ngayon.
Madam Chair, ito pong 7 documents na ni-refer sa amin for investigation, merong sinubmit sa DFA nito. Ang sinasabi namin, yung nasa DFA na yon, those are falsified documents that become basis for the DFA maybe to issue their support.
Kaya nga,
So,
klaruhin natin ang
meron po
falsified.
kaming-
Pakiklaro ang falsified.
Because this, upon verification by our local officials, these documents are not at the local civil register at the same time.
That's what you say. It's not in the local civil.
Iba yung nasa database namin.
Iba. So, meaning, kung hindi ito nanggaling sa local civil register, hindi rin nanggaling sa inyo,
Some other sources.
some other sources like recto.
Not-
Pwede.
Not
Pwede?
Not PSA and not
Hindi. Sige, klaro natin. Pwedeng nanggagaling ito sa recto.
could be anywhere.
Could
Your
be
Honor.
anywhere, ha?
Yes.
So, could be anywhere.
But because
Bakit?
in our database, iba yung nandun sa amin.
So, ibig sabihin, ganito, nalusutan ngayon yung DFA. Bakit sila nag-issue ng passport na fraudulent pala yung birth certificate na yun, DFA? Saan DFA? Naisahan, inaamin ba nyo na pwede kayong naisahan itong mga nag-apply ng passport na ito?
Sir, good afternoon, Madam Chair. Sir, we
Okay na yun.
verify the authenticity of the birth certificate.
Okay?
Kung nasa security paper po, we have our people who can determine kung genuine po from PSA. For the contents inside, we have no way to determine po.
So, as far as you're concerned, PSA talaga galing yung papel na yun.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sa inyo pala galing. Sa inyo pala galing yung papel na yun. Confirm mo nila. You confirm also na sa inyo galing yun.
Sir, we have to check, as I mentioned a while
Ayan
ago.
yun. Hanggang ngayon, you still have to check.
Sir,
Katagal na yung kaso na yan.
Yung tatlo po, yung tatlo, may identified kami na mga serial numbers. So,
Okay.
we can identify kung saang outlet po siya na-issue, and that is where we are.
Kaya nga, ito, tinatawag natin itong mga tao na ito. Dahil sa outlet nila ito nanggagaling.
Hindi naman, sir. Hindi.
Can you, gagaling sa kanila.
Ang issuance po namin, sir, is through our outlets, CRS outlets, not necessarily within their jurisdiction.
So saang outlet ang galing yun?
Okay. Right. Okay, sir. In our investigation, sir, we have from 13 Martires Outlet.
Martires outlet.
That's Cavite.
Dinala nyo dito yung Martires outlet
Then
ninyo?
we have also Davao City.
Davao City. Dinala nyo dito yung outlet na yan?
Wala, sir. But we as a PSA, sir, nandito naman po kami. Pasay and Paranaque outlets and Tugigaraw.
Tugigaraw.
Yun po yung mga under
So
yung mga outlets
you submit to this committee, Madam Chair, yung mga tao na yan na manning that outlet para for the next investigation, tanungin natin sila, bakit sila nag-produce ng ganung papel? Di ba? So very clear pala ngayon na PSA paper yon, authentic paper yon, pero fraudulent ang laman. No? Claro?
Your Honor, yes, we will comply
Wait,
kung
Do you want to
i-invite
ask her first? You're looking at each other. I don't mind. I'd rather you come up with an answer you can stand by. Do you want a minute to just confirm? Just so that we can move along efficiently? Or are you good to respond?
Madam Chair, ano lang, i-clarify lang ulit namin na
Huwag kayong ma-intimidate dito.
Yeah,
Yes.
We are trying to solve a problem here,
Yeah.
ha? Baka nagpakuha kayo dyan. Hindi, ayaw yung tumingin sa mata ko eh. Parang, pag nagtatanong ako, ayaw yung tumingin sa mata ko. Don't be intimidated. We are solving a problem here.
Even
Ha?
though he looks intimidating,
Yeah,
don't be intimidated.
We are trying to solve a problem.
yes, Madam Chair, we just would like to clarify that the subject of the investigation that PSA conducted was because DFA, or it was referred to us that at least 6 individuals were issued passport based on documents submitted to them. We requested them to provide us the documents submitted to them so we can verify from our records. So what we did was to ask our provincial heads that covers the civil registrars or the municipality where the birth records originate to conduct ocular investigation para tingnan nila kung yun bang sinasabing sinubmit sa DFA ay indeed galing doon sa civil registrars and whether indeed they are within our database. So, of the documents na binerify natin, the investigation found that falsified yung mga submitted sa kanilang documents. So, we have the documents here. Actually, hawak ko yung lima nung records. These are delayed registration of the supposed documents submitted to them. Ito ngayon ang pwede naming i-kumpara dun sa hawak ng o sinubmit sa DFA because ang na-provide lang naman sa amin ay Xerox copy of what was submitted to them, not the original insect pa as submitted. Ito, pinaprint po
So
namin
as of
ito.
now, hindi mo pa na-confirm na
Kasi
yun talaga
yung physical,
official document coming from your office. Kasi as far as DFA is concerned, sabi nila, legitimate daw talaga, official document galing sa inyo. On your part,
if we can have them, then we can cross-reference it with our record.
hindi pa kayo nag-usap, dalawa.
So do you have it? Did you bring it, ASEC?
Madam Chair, when passport applications are submitted, we verify the authenticity of the birth certificate. We make a photocopy, and then we give back the original birth certificate to the
holder.
applicant.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
So do you happen to have that photocopy that you're of the subject cases?
We do, ma'am.
Can you go to the side and compare your notes and then tell us? And I just want to confirm, colleagues, no, and for the record, that during the budget deliberations, DFA Office of Consular Affairs, in a letter to Senate President Zubiri, emphasized that the certificates of live birth that were presented to the DFA by most of these foreign nationals that were under investigation for passport applications are in their original PSA security paper form, and that these certificates were late registered. Mode of birth is either through midwife or hilot, and that the parents indicated in these documents are Filipinos. So so that will be the next question I will ask, but I need you to go to the side, whether it's your staff, whatever, I don't care. Kindly go to the side and compare your notes. But I think what's one crucial element here is how did they get hold of the original? I think that kaya nga security paper yon, right? Naka-vault ba yan? Naka-vault ba yan? O naka-vault. So ngayon, lahat nitong subjects na to dun sa specific civil registry offices, tatawagin natin yung officer, yung civil registrar ng office na yon.
Correct.
To find out. For the record then, kasi the first hearing we have is from the policy level. So that's why we didn't clutter our hearing with everybody yet, no? But do you have any, you want to proceed, or I'll let them go to the side and compare?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Or you can submit it. Ano bang?
May I move, Madam Chair, na isama natin sa invitation yung outlet mismo na pinanggalingan ng papel na yon. Yung sabi mo, ano yung mga outlet yon?
These are civil registry outlet where documents can be requested.
Kaya nga, anong outlet yon?
So kung
So kung
meron
saan yung-
Tugigaraw, yes. Meron.
Togigaraw.
About We have 67 outlets.
7 outlets.
Kung sino yung involved, we can
Isama
ask them
natin,
to come.
Madam Chair.
Akala ko ba sila to? Iba pa ba?
Iba pa yan.
They are the provincial heads where the
No, but I thought it's the civil registrars from these particular districts or what provincial, right?
yes, where
Kaya
the documents originated, Madam Chair. Pero yung sinasabi kanina on the outlet where it was requested, supposedly requested,
Yeah,
kasi
but that would fall under their jurisdiction. Sa lugar nila, di ba?
not necessarily, ma'am.
Eh, ba't sila nandito kung hindi sa inyo? Ba't namin kayo inimbita?
Registration.
Ano?
Clarificatory. So you can register in a different area and then get your birth certificate in a different area. Possible yan. Like in this case, they registered in this particular area, but they received or they got their birth certificate
From other
original from another area.
areas. Yes, madam.
Yan ang nangyari dito.
Yes, sir. Because once the document is registered and in our database, PSA established at this time 67 outlets nationwide where a Filipino can request for birth certificate in any of those outlets. So parang access kasi yung ino natin, we address that. We would like every Filipino to get birth certificate wherever they are residing now, even if they're living different place from where they were born.
Well, that's a good feature so that our kababayans can get their birth certificates anywhere. No? But obviously, it can also be abused. No? Meaning they registered in a different place with the intention of getting it from somewhere else. No? Baka may ibang kausap sila. Can an LGU register and issue birth certificates? Can an LGU register and issue birth certificates?
The LGU through the LCR,
To LCR.
the LCR is also allowed to issue birth certificate upon request of the
So pwede rin
document
sila.
owner.
So
Yes po.
aside from the outlets, the LGUs can
Of course,
also
so
issue.
because they are primarily the owner of the birth certificates.
Yeah.
Oh.
How many LGUs? How many LCRs are there nationwide?
1,634, Your Honor.
All right.
So supposedly all of these should have one civil registrar
Yeah.
mandated to register all vital events in their jurisdiction within that municipality or city, Your Honor.
Itong anim pinpointed is non-LGU. It's PSA
Oh,
that registered and issued the birth
These are
certificates.
within LCRs, registered at LCR, because
LCRs to.
we cannot register on ourselves. The PSA office, either at the provincial or regional, national, no mandate to register.
You're just a repository, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, may I suggest also to invite the civil registrar of that particular LGUs because apparently they're the ones who
So,
receive.
so we need, or maybe you can put it on record now para hindi tayo nangangapa who are we calling. Let's establish, and you be the one to give us the names now. Where were these persons registered? Where did they register their late births? And then where, if any, were such certificates requested and issued? Kasi if there is really some kind of syndicate, then baka same areas yan. Right? So are you prepared to tell us? Are you going, check your record so that you put it on record so that we will issue the necessary invitation for the next hearing. But anyway, we seem to be getting the answer that you're investigating. But may I remind PSA that during the budget hearing, no less than the Senate President, while presiding and listening to the questions of Senator Bato de la Rosa, manifested that he had also received complaints. And at that time in November, it was already referred to the Blue Ribbon, and you already were told to investigate. So I really expected that I'll hear the results of those investigations now.
Yes, ma'am, we have the results of the investigation and we are ready to submit it to the committee.
Ready na pala, ba't ang dami pang tanong? Di pa ba namin natanong yon?
We have the signed investigation report of PSA and sabi namin, isubmit namin sa inyo upon request.
Hindi mo ba pwede i-summarize? Yun lang naman yung inaantay natin. Ano ba? Are you uncomfortable about something?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We are, as mentioned dun sa reply namin to the committee, ma'am, fully cooperating with this investigation and actually conducted ourselves
Okay.
investigation.
Yes,
And
go
this
ahead.
is
Findings, Ditso, findings.
oo. Medyo mahaba lang siya, pero ito yung summary namin. So,
Paul, are those cases related?
yes, ma'am. These are the 7
No,
referred
but I
to.
mean, are they related to each other? Like,
Yes.
they are.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it makes the report simpler, di ba? Kasi parang isa na lang. Okay.
So, on the case ng Pasig City, not mentioning the name, so the findings of the investigation is that the one submitted to DFA is not within our database. The certificate of live birth of the subject with registry number 2921, 2921 is not in the records of LCRO of Pasig City. So nevertheless, the registrant birth was duly registered through delayed registration in the LCRO of Pasig City and was issued a certificate of live birth with registry number, different registry number. So the registry number is here. On the next case from Mekawayan City, again, the one submitted to DFA is not in our database. So this is also a case of falsified certificate of live birth. The document contains false and or fictitious information, and the registry number used belongs to another person. This document has distinct registry number and the birth registration number from a late registration in that LCRO in Mekawayan, Bulacan. The next case this is the case of identity theft, the one from Santa Cruz, Zambales. This document, the one used for the issuance of the passport for this person, this is in our database. So this is a case of identity theft because in this case, the registrant assumed the information of a dead person. So ito yung kasong, the first case that was shown by Madam Chair. So ang findings dito, the certificate of live birth was processed through the BREX. Accordingly, the CBRC outlet no longer evaluates the request made through the BREX partner. So dito po sa kaso, we have a facility called BREX. This is a batch request query system where local government units are allowed to accept requests for birth, marriage, and death through the LGU. So the LGU transmit this request to an outlet where they can request for certificates coming from PSA. So
Is it a request for a copy of the certificate or is it a request for registration?
for a copy of birth
For a
certificate.
copy lang?
Yes po.
Okay, so can you repeat your whole sentence? Because
So
I did
the
not know what
BREX,
BREX
this is a
means.
facility we allow where we enter into MOA with LGU. For that LGU that do not have outlet where they can request for birth certificate, we allow them to accept request for copies. Kasi what we cater sa BREX is yung mga walang outlets, kailangan ng tao ng birth certificate. So they can go to the LGU, request for the copy, and that
By one batch, the LGU
Yes,
will
through the
actually, I
batches.
understand. So
Yes,
go
po.
back to what you were saying now that I understand the term that you used.
yes. So on the case nito ni Santa Cruz, Zambales, the certificate of live birth was processed through the BREX. So accordingly, the outlet, yung pong outlet, hindi siya mag-evaluate kung ano yung supporting document niyan when it was requested to them because yung BREX partner na, yung LGU na mismo mag-check nung requirements para mag-request ng copy. This is for request of copy lang. Now, ito pong case
Madam
ng...
Chair, may. Yung outlet, pakinggan mo muna ako.
Yes, sir.
Tingnan ka muna dito.
Sorry,
Yung
Your Honor.
outlet, yung capability niya, kaya ba niyang mag-alter sa records doon?
Your Honor, ang outlet po natin, parang ito ay mirror site ng ating database na nandito sa central office. So,
Mirror.
yes.
So,
Kung ano ang meron natin dito, yun lang ang marirequest nila doon. So actually po, pag nag-request ka sa outlet namin, we have 67 outlets nationwide. So if you go to an outlet, you request for a copy of birth, marriage, or death certificate or SENUMAR sa isang outlet. So i-enter yung request mo. Isusulat yung pangalan na nag-request ng isang tao. And then that request will be sent electronically to central office. Then it will be printed, it will be searched at the central office. We have 2 back-end offices where the searching is done electronically. And then that, upon finding the document, it will be sent to the outlet for printing. So
So,
it will be printed.
there's no way na pwedeng mabayaran yung outlet.
It will be impossible, Your Honor, because they do not have the copy of the documents being requested. These are electronically digitalized images of documents stored in our database here at the central office.
So, ang nag-control lahat, database sa
Yes, Your
central office.
Honor.
What if ako'y Chinese na magdala ko ng pera doon sa outlet? Sabihin mo, hatiin nyo doon sa central office. Tawagan mo yung central office doon na i-manipulate yung record doon para makapadala ka dito makapadala sila sa outlet ng ganitong papel.
I would categorically say,
Pwede.
Your Honor, that it is not possible.
Not possible. Ang nag-control ng data ninyo is central.
Correct, Your Honor.
Central. So, kung sila nag-control doon, pwede lang ma-alter yung mga records. Kung sila nag-control.
There are protocols in when to enroll or upload the images of these documents, and these are not controlled by one person. These are systems, computer systems that cannot be altered by just one person. And
So, meaning to say, masasabi mo na mahirap bayaran ang PSA. Dahil nga, maraming tao na, kahit na marami akong pera, i-share nyo dyan, lahat ng tao na involved. Bayaran ko lahat ng taong involved para makalabas ng, pabigyan nyo ako ng ganitong papilis.
it will be impossible, Your Honor.
Impossible.
Impossible, Your Honor.
Thank you.